So number two is about the iPhone. I've got some great news for you. Now, today happens to be exactly the 200th day since the iPhone went on sale. Right? iPhone's been shipping for exactly 200 days today. And I'm extraordinarily pleased to report that we have sold 4 million iPhones to date. If you divide 4 million by 200 days, that's 20,000 iPhones every day on average. So we're really pleased with this. Now, what does this mean in terms of the overall market? Well, let's take a look at the US smartphone market share that the iPhone has achieved. Now, this is data from Gartner, and the most recent data we can get is really just for the third calendar quarter ending in September. So this is iPhone's first quarter of shipment ever. And so the market share in the US, RIM had the highest market share with 39%. Right? They do a great job, highest market share. Next was the iPhone. Its first quarter shipping, it garnered 19.5% market share. Now let's look at number 3, 4, and 5. Palm with 9.8%, Motorola with 7.4%, and Nokia with 1.3%. And then other, the category with everybody else in it, 20.2%. So the iPhone, in its first 90 days of shipping, garnered almost a 20% market share of the US smartphone market. What's equally interesting to this is if you take number 3, 4, and 5, Palm, Motorola, and Nokia together, and you add up their market shares, it was 20.3. We equaled them in the first 90 days of shipment. And we just about equaled other, which is everybody else put together, in our first quarter. And when the numbers come out for the December quarter, we think we're going to have done even better. So this is our first 90 days, 4 million iPhones to date. Now, what everybody's really excited about is the software development kit that we're going to release in late February to our developers. This is really exciting, a chance for all of our developers to write incredible apps on the iPhone. But we wanted to give everybody something today, too. And so we've got some great new features we're rolling out on the iPhone today. First, Maps with Location. We've completely rewritten the UI, and we now have the ability to find your current location in Maps. Web clips. You can now make web clips of your favorite websites and put them right on the home screen. You can customize the home screen and create up to 9 total home screens that you can flick between. You can SMS multiple people at once. When you're watching videos, you can have chapters and navigate through your videos with chapters. And if it supports it, you can have subtitles in alternate languages. And if you have lyrics, we support displaying of lyrics now in the iPod. So what I'd love to do now is show you this stuff. Let's take a look. Excuse me. So let's go to Maps. And as you can see, we've got a new user interface for Maps here. We've got search and directions right in the middle here so people don't get confused. Over on the right side, we've got a little view button, and I can hit that and just curl up the map, and it allows me to see my map and map view, satellite, new hybrid view, which puts them together, list view, show traffic, and we can drop a pin. We'll come back to that later. But this button on the left is really cool. I push it, and it's going to locate. It's going to locate me right on the map. Zoom. And there we are. So this is pretty cool. And I can just flip right into directions now, and it uses my current location as the start. And I could say, well, that's cool. I want to get back to Apple, and just find the route. And it will calculate the route back to Apple and show me and give me street-by-street directions if that's what I'd like. And here we are. I could say I want to edit that, and what I really want is, I know we have an Apple Store nearby here, and I've bookmarked that as well. And so let's calculate the route to that. And here's the Apple Store. So after the keynote, I can wander over to the store. I can drive over to the store. So that's pretty cool. And I can also now drop a pin anywhere I want to and move it around. And let's say when I'm going to the Apple Store, I find a cool little shop over here I want to bookmark. And I can just add this to my bookmarks. I can get directions. I can remove the pin, whatever I want. And I can just keep track of those kinds of locations that I want to go to again. So that is the new Maps. And again, we develop our Maps application in conjunction with Google. They have awesome Maps technology, and we write the front-end apps, and it's a great collaboration, and we love working with those guys. So I want to now SMS more than one person at once. And I'm going to bring up a new message here. And I'm going to just, well, let's say I want to send it to Phil and Scott. Yeah, oops, got to spell his name right. Scott Forstall, and maybe Tim, and maybe Tony. Tony Fidel right there. And I could just say hi. And this will actually send a message to him now. And so I'm sending a message to 4 people here, which is kind of nice. But as you know, our SMS client keeps track of the conversations that you're having with these people. And so if I go back now after sending this, it's right here at the top of my list right there, you can see. And if I want to send another SMS to all of these folks with one click of my finger, I've addressed it and I'm ready to go. So it's pretty nice. So that's sending SMSs to more than one person at once. Web clips. Web clips is pretty cool. So I go to my Safari browser. I'm looking at the Apple home screen now. And I'm going to go to Google because they have these really cool apps now that work with the iPhone. And I think I might use them a lot. And here they are coming up now. And what I can do is I now have this plus button right down there at the bottom in the center. And I can just push this plus button. And what's going to happen is, in addition to have add to bookmark, I have add to home screen. And I can mail a link to this page if I want to. So I'll say add to home screen. And it comes up, and I can rename it if I want. And it shows me the icon that I'm going to get. And I say, that's just fine. Let's add it. And so now that icon is now added to my home screen. I'm going to go get another one. This one takes a while to load, but it's the New York Times. It's a great website. And we'll just go ahead and wait for it to load here. Because web clips can be more than just a website. They can also remember where I've zoomed and panned to. So on the New York Times, I often like to just look at the front page and look at the technology section here once it loads in. And we'll just scroll down here for a second as it loads in. And we'll zoom up to the technology section. There we go. And that's what I want to see. And we'll just go ahead and say add this to the home screen. And we'll get rid of the whole New York Times and just put NYT, because that takes up a little less room. And we'll add it. And now I've got a New York Times right here. Right? And I just touch these and I go right back to those websites, which is really cool. Now, I may want to customize my home screen. And so what I can do is just touch any icon for a few seconds, and they all start to jiggle. They all get a little restless. And I can do whatever I want. I can take something out of the dock if I want. I only have 3 things in the dock. I can say, I'm going to use these Google apps a lot. I'm going to put them right in the dock there. I'm going to take my New York Times and just slide it over to the right of the screen, and it goes to another page that I've made with all my other web clips on it. And when I'm done, well, I can go back here if I want, and I can just move stocks down here, and I can move my calendar over here, whatever I want to do. And I just push home, and I'm done. And now my icons have been rearranged. And I can go see some of these other web clips. I can just push Bank of America. They have a great mobile banking app here. And I just go right to it. It's that simple. And I can create up to 9 of these home screens and just literally flick between them.